Mexico and Central America in the future by saying that your every hope of if you get to the border, you're home free. You're welcomed with open arms. And that's what President Obama has just done.
Apparently one of the things that will come up here with these kids who got here and these buses and what have you been rounded up is that we will set a court date for their parents, presumably, to come here and to argue their case or their kid's case. That, to me, would almost invite the parents to come and stay.
Exactly. All this reinforces the Obama administration's plan is to keep 11 to 20 million illegals here. There's no enforcement of the law. You and I, you expect guys like me to enforce the law on American citizens, yet there is no law for people from foreign countries who come here, disrespect our country and its immigration process, and we're made to feel somehow as the bad guys in this process. And this is America turned up on its head, and we've got to get back to the rule of law, enforce the law equally, fairly on everyone. And we need to put this money instead to secure the border. We need to send soldiers to the border.
I'm sorry, Sheriff. They say they are part of the proceeds will be used to secure the border, not necessarily with permanent guards, but temporary to begin with. There's this open question of what role the National Guard play down the road. You don't believe any of that?
It's a lie. I've seen it 100 times from this administration. They've released dangerous, violent criminals right in my county, and they refuse to give me the names of these criminals. We have cartel scouts who are armed on mountains in my county that are ushering the drugs through all the way up to Phoenix, and this is in our country. And the Obama administration has put dozens of signs written in English in Pinell County warning Americans, danger warning, drug and human smuggling. Why don't we write them in Spanish, as laughable as this is, and face them not towards Phoenix, but face them towards Mexico?
Well, how did all these kids arrive here in the first place? When you ask the administration, they had no idea. But we rounded them up in buses, and now we've got this problem with 50,000 plus, largely kids, who we have to process now and go through the full legal labyrinth that is afforded people who are legal residents. These are illegals, kids are not. But how did this get so out of hand? What happened?
There's no enforcement of the law. And this is why you and I shouldn't be scratching our heads wondering how we got here now when we have a guy, just yesterday we arrested, and every day 10 times deported, 15 times deported, because there are no consequences for breaking the law. And so when the president welcomes, when we have border security guards, we have actual agents at the border, they're not deterring illegals or unaccompanied juveniles. They are welcoming them with open arms. They're just, as the administration says, this is humanitarian. They're surrendering to us. This is outrageous that we in America do not have sovereign borders that we can protect and secure.
So what if the president skips out on visiting the border tomorrow, or even doing a flyover?
Well, I fully intend him to just do his fundraising, and it's just insulting to the American people and to the rule of law that he's refusing to address a problem of this magnitude.
Would a flyover be more insulting?
Look, anything, the fact that he's not enforcing the laws is insulting enough. The fact that he's not giving attention, he should go to the border personally, talk to the people who are doing the job.
Okay, Sheriff, it's always good having you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Neil.
All right, well, we provide the bus, so you might as well leave the driving to us. Is that the message we're sending to the real bad guys? I'm talking the ISIS bad guys. No joke, former Navy SEAL Jonathan Gillum says with so many people crossing the border, don't think these types of guys are taking notes. So your worry is that they're looking at this porous border and thinking, here we go, right?
Well, Neil, we've been looking at, I remember when I was in the SEAL teams in 1999 and was downrange in Central South America. And we saw at that point in time a culture that was full of openings where the borders were not secured all the way down to Central South America. We knew that that was a potential for terrorists to infiltrate and then come up across our border. Now, with what we've got going on here at our border, it makes what we were worried about before magnified tenfold. And with enemies like ISIS who have real professional training and no morals whatsoever when it comes to killing, no ethical standards, they'll do whatever they can to propel the caliphate which they believe in.
Now, what surprised me is when they bring and the nationality of some of these kids who have made their way here, you would think the majority are from Mexico. They're not. They're further down in South America, Chile, Ecuador, Honduras, what have you, but all over. So I would think that alone raises eyebrows from potential bad guys abroad to say, well, that's not only a porous border, but it's a border that everyone south of the United States sees as open for business.
Right, and again, this is something that is not new. The drugs, we're now transitioning into the war on terror to talk about the border as far as terror goes, but this has been an issue when it came to the drug war for years and years. And there's a place like just down in Brazil where it's an area where there's a huge port, and drugs have always come in through there, all the way down from Brazil and make their way all the way up across the border of the United States. What's to say that it couldn't be done with, with terrorists? It's certainly done with people, and groups like this are constantly looking. And Neil, let me just tell you this: we need to stop looking at probability, which is the numbers and the statistics saying that they'll come over, and we need to start looking at the possibility. And the possibility that they'll do it is 100%.
Well, Jonathan, thank you very much. Good seeing you again.
Good to be here.
Well, under these circumstances, Jonathan Bill, thank you.